I was saying, Eric B is a friend of mine. So I was in Vegas the night that Tupac that he got shot. We actually saw Tupac and Suge at the fight. I got a chance to holler at them briefly. But then after the fight, we went to Suge's club. Suge had a club called 662. So we went to 662 after that. And a friend of mine, a guy named Head, may rest in peace, man, Allah accept him. He left his ID in the room. So he was arguing with the bouncer at the door, about, like, damn, man, I don't look 21. He said, yeah, man, but, man, that's the policy, man. Just run back, grab your ID, we're going to let you right in. So Eric B came up with MC Hammer, him and Hammer. So he don't know Head. So Head said, yo, what's up, E? So he was like looking. He said, no, my man Ish in there, he waiting on you. So he said, Ish in there? He said, yeah. So Eric B grabbed Head, and they just came straight in. So Eric B was supposed to run the East Coast Death Row. So he was going to run the East Coast Death Row for sure. So when he came in, we got to talk, and I told him I seen it in the Vibe magazine. He said, yeah. So he said, when Tupac come, him and Suge, he said, I'm going to pull him to the side. I'm going to let him know, look, you're going to be with me over here on the East Coast. Bop, 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 bop. We're going to run it like that. So I was like, cool. I went back and told the homies, I said, man, it's on. I said, as soon as Tupac and Suge get here, he going to pull him up, introduce me, you know what I mean? And let him know that, we going to be with him, running everything, with Death Row on the East Coast or whatever. And then they kept paging them to the front, saying, Eric B, come to the front, Eric B, come to the front. So Eric B came to the front, and they told him that Tupac had got shot. So he told me that he was going to go to the hospital, and he told me to go back to the hotel. We were staying at the MGM, but don't go to sleep. So they had this bar called the Betty Boop Bar. So we went to the Betty Boop Bar and just hung out until Eric got back from the hospital. When he got back from the hospital, he said Tupac had got shot. I forgot how many times, and they was going to remove his right lung. But they said he was going to live, and he was going to be all right, and everything was going to be cool. So we ended up flying back home that Monday or Tuesday. And so we flew back home, and then Friday they said that he died. And so I called Eric B, and they said, yeah. So I asked him what happened. He said, I don't know. They just said his body gave out, and he died. So that was the 13th, Friday the 13th. So I flew to L.A. a week later on the 20th of September. So when I flew out there on the 20th, me and another buddy of mine, my man Big D, we flew out there. Eric came and picked us up from the airport. And when Eric came and picked us up from the airport, he had 2 guns on him. He gave me a gun, and he had a gun on him. And we at the airport at LAX. So I'm like, damn, what the hell going on?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he like, man, like 13 people that got killed behind that situation that happened in Vegas. That was a week. It was almost 2 weeks, but it was 1 week after Pac died. Pac got shot on the 7th, which was that Saturday. He died on that Friday, which was the 13th. But when I flew out there, it was the 20th, Friday the 20th. Nobody gonna be there heard that, because that was, actually what was going on. That stuff that was in the, newspaper, or the interviews, or none of that type stuff. Because of the way that you get the platform structured. A lot of people was like, when I first came in and stuff, and people was like, man, all the people gonna be reaching out to you, the Don Diva. And I said, man, I ain't talking to no Don Divas and no feds and all that, because they just trying to look at it from the perspective of, here's this guy, Ishmael Ford Bey, was selling hundreds of kilos of cocaine every month, and blah, blah, blah. They want to build it up from that perspective, but they don't understand exactly what, we was attempting to facilitate, you know what I'm saying? We was attempting to create, which I still got the animation company, but Urban Disney, the next Rockefeller Records, Bad Boy Records, Death Row Records, coming out of D.C. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and had I, like I said, realized that I had already won, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That inshallah could have took place, because I had the last meeting I had was with Universal Records. And a good friend of mine, her name is Mignon Espy. Mignon, I met her working for Chris Lighty. Mona Scott was also working with Chris Lighty at the time, the one who created Love and Hip Hop. And Mignon was supposed, she took me to Atlantic Records, because she knew everybody. She used to work for Def Jam for 10 years. She the one who actually helped Jay-Z get his records into Walmart. But they had to make a clean version. Yeah, she had to make a clean version of the record. We actually bumped into Dame Dash one time. when Mignon was in New York or whatever the case may be. And Dame was just going crazy because Mignon was on him because Dame didn't want to make a clean version. Kept talking about, man, we Rockefeller, we ain't making no one by. She said, listen, you know how many more records you gonna sell? You know what I mean? So she was used to be on him or whatever. So, and she knew everybody. So she took me to Atlantic Records. She took me to Universal Records. She used to do the budgets for me for the label and all the artists and everything. So she set up a meeting for me with Universal Records. And I took the meeting with Universal Records, me and my other partner, Tramp, who was my partner in my animation company. And Universal Records, they was blown away at all the stuff that we had. And so after that, I'm a Lakers fan. I went to the Lakers game. And we were at the Lakers game. Me and my partner sitting behind the bench. You know, Kobe still was playing. Phil Jackson was the coach, everything. And she called me. And she told me, she said, Ish, you know he just called me, right? I said, oh, yeah. I said, what'd he say? He said, who else you taking Ish to go see? She said, we're going to go see Jimmy Iovine at Interscope, and we're going to go to Sony. So the guy said, well, it don't matter because I'm going to give him the best deal. I'm going to give him the best label deal. And 2 months later, I was on the run.
Yeah.
So another good lesson, like I said, to know when you won. You know, sometimes you got to know when you won.
I'm gonna say a name, and you say the first thing that come to your mind. All right. All right, Rat Man.
There's a lot of words that come to mind, but fearless.
Oh. Corey Moore.
Revolutionary. Yeah. Well, inshallah, we got a whole lot going on. A lot of people be asking me if I'm gonna get involved with the music stuff again, and I don't really know. You know what I mean? I'll see, because I got a lot of tech stuff going on right now. I got a social media app that's called Fun Club that we got developed. That's on iOS. It's out right now. People can download. Whoever got an iPhone, set up a page just like Instagram, whatever the situation is, and we're in the process of getting the Android piece developed, so we have it on both platforms, iOS and Android. And I still got the animation company or whatever. We got a hip hop cartoon called Sure Shot, and we have a deal with, they building a hip hop museum in New York, in the Bronx. And me and my partner, we got the contract to do all of the merchandising for the first 6 years for the hip hop museum. And my partner just got another deal where they have a 40th anniversary of the movie Beach Street. So we're gonna be doing all the merchandise. A lot of these young guys, they too young to remember Beach Street, but the older guys, they remember Beach Street. So, but basically when I come home, I'm gonna be focused on the animation company and the tech platforms, because I'm doing a platform that's gonna be able to facilitate a lot of stuff that I'm doing with the animation company and stuff like that, as well as the Fun Club is a social media platform, more or less for like parties and events and different things like that. So I'm gonna be more or less in that lane, you know what I mean, and doing the animation and film stuff. You know what I mean? I would have a problem trying to help, or I could help out with the music stuff, you know what I mean? And I, you know, my son, he kind of deals with the music and stuff like that. Another young guy.
And shout out to them. I fuck with them.
Stuff. His name Sam Payne.
Okay.
He was actually signed to Jay-Z. Jay-Z them signed him to Rock Nation, but they kept holding his project up, and he ended up ultimately getting out of the situation. So right now he got a couple other little situations on the board, and you can catch me. I'm talking at the beginning of his album, kind of dropping some little stuff for the youngsters too. But like I said, I would help out any way I can, man. With somebody, if they were serious about the music and stuff like that. My whole thing is I don't have time and energy to be putting into people and babysitting these young guys, and they playing games, and you trying to groom these guys and get them ready, and you know, taking the time out, because my time is valuable.
Yeah,
you
no
know
doubt.
What I mean? So I don't have time to be going through all that. Then the guy locked up. He locked up for a gun. He locked up for shooting somebody. He locked up for this. He in a conspiracy for that. Because now it's like a waste of time. Because all these guys come from the street. It's like the same way when Puffy told Biggie. He said, look, man, I'm investing in you. I'm going to do everything I can for you, whatever. But I need to know that you're serious, man, that you're going to leave all that shit behind and you're going to focus on this. And sometimes that's a hell of a sacrifice. I understand for these young guys and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, they got to make a choice. you know, if you're gonna be serious about what you're doing, you gotta be focused on that. You can't be running around playing games. Because it ain't gonna get you nowhere. It ain't gonna lead to nothing. You're gonna be sitting there, keep watching that TV, wondering why none of the homies is on, and I keep watching this dude from New Orleans get on, this dude from Florida, this dude from Chicago, these dudes from Detroit, this other guy from Oakland, because they stepping away. You still got the homies, still the homies. It ain't like you can't go out with them or whatever. But if your thing is the music, if that's your out, that's the out that you need to be focused on. My man, Rap Man, I told him the same thing. Right before he got that murder charge. Right. You know what I mean? I said, man, listen. I said, you have a way out. Other guys are in the streets because they don't have no way out.
Right.
You know what I mean? This is their way out. But it's not your way out. You have a way out. Right. So you got to focus on that. You know what I mean? And I wish I would have had that conversation with him, you know, sooner and earlier, and maybe it could have made a difference. You know, maybe that was just his destiny, whatever the situation was. But, you know, guys don't be understanding that. You know what I mean? You got to make a choice. What these guys need to do is they really need to start building some relationships. It ain't about they funding it, but just making a bunch of videos and going to the studio and stuff like that. That's cool, right? But they're not putting themselves in position, right? If I want to make music, then I got to put myself in a position to be around and meet other people that make music. You see all of them on Instagram, they got on Balenciaga, they got Dior, they got all this on. But if you ask them how many went to the awards to try to see if I can connect with somebody out there in LA when they had the hip hop awards down in Atlanta, right there in Atlanta, it don't cost you nothing to buy a plane ticket to go down there to try to see if I can connect with some people. It can help position me to do what it is that I want to do. They're not investing the money in the right thing.
Got you. I got you.
Because you know what I mean? Right. You know what I mean? You just can't just be in DC, keep making videos in the neighborhood. You know, they think that they have to rap about certain things in order for the people to like it. Like I gotta rap about shooting this dude on the head, or just I slid through here and I did this and I did that. And don't get me wrong, we're not gonna act or pretend like that's not an aspect of the streets and those things don't happen. But when they always hear, and they probably all the old guys be talking, no. While people always consider Tupac the greatest rapper that ever did it, nobody said he was the best lyricist out of every rapper that rapped. But the reality of it is that people say he was diverse. No, this is real life. I don't care how many guns you shoot, how much cocaine you sell, you don't love your mother? Right, so when you made Dear Mama, that was that. If you listen to All Eyes on Me, you got a song in there called We Gotta Go. And it's about them being in Vegas hanging out. But now, you know, the vacation, no, we hung out in Vegas, we did this, now it's time to get our, you know, shit together in the room, get back on the plane, get back home, whatever. He just showing every aspect of life. Ain't nobody just getting up every day. Every day I just get up, I go grab a gun and go shoot somebody. Every day. That's what you do every day. That's not reality. You don't go hang out with them chicks. You don't go to the club. You don't go around the way and kick it with the men and da-da-da. You know what I mean? They don't have no versatility. Everybody just said, oh, we in the hood. We got a bunch of guns. Look at us. We got jewelry. We got that's all you do every single day. That ain't all you do every single day. You don't have no children. You don't love your kids. You don't take them out. And anybody, man, nobody want to hear that. Because this is life.
Right.
The whole aspect of life. And they didn't got away from that.
Make a long story short, I walk up on a guy that's selling merchandise, and I see an action figure in a Louis Vuitton coat. And I stop, I say, hey, that's Ish. So the dude kind of, I don't even know who it is, Ish. So the dude kind of looked at me funny, he was like, huh? I said, man, that's Ish, who was that? But it was the action figures that you have. I ain't hear you speak about that.
Right. Yeah, because we had an animated comic strip that was attached to the Gangster Chronicles thing through my animation company called The Untouchables. And that's one of the things that the guy at Universal really liked, because I showed him that we're going to have different ways that we can create revenue for the artists. You see what I'm saying? And that was one of the things that he really liked. And we just wasn't coming saying we just got music. We saying we got music, but we can make money a bunch of different ways.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's one of the things. People got to start looking at it like, I do music. Okay, I do music. Do something else. I send all my artists to. We got one there, but people don't know, one of the best acting schools in the country. That's right down 14th and what is that? 14th and Q Street. It's called the Studio Theater Conservatory. And I sent a bunch of my artists down there because I told them they had to get themselves every opportunity to win. So now, if I'm good with the music, now I've been taking me some acting classes for a year. If I get me a hit record, I can spin off and jump in a movie. It might be not no Fast and the Furious right off the break, but then I start building my movie credentials. Because who knows how long my rap career gonna last, even if I do make it in the rap career.
Right.
And I might spin off like Will Smith. Or it might not be as big as Will Smith, but I can still spin off and be like Ludacris. See, Ludacris ain't complaining about his movie career, out his rap career.
Right. Right.
Right. You still giving yourself every opportunity to win.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because you don't really know how it's gonna go. And so you gotta ask yourself, even if I sit down with the label, or if I'm looking for a manager, if somebody gonna manage me, take me on as a client, a lawyer's gonna take me on a client, what else do I bring to the table? Because the manager, the lawyer that's already in position, then heard everything. You ain't the only guy that can rap, even if you got some hit music, even if you got a look that they can sell.
Yeah.
What else do you bring to the table that all these other people are not bringing to the table?
Right.
Right, and they got to look at it from that aspect. And I understand that nobody's teaching them this and telling them this, but these are the questions they got to ask themselves. See, a lot of these guys, they not choosing the friends based on the qualities of the person, and that's the problem. They choosing it based on, oh, he go hard. You know what I'm saying? That's my man. He ain't playing no games. Nobody out in the streets. Slimmer bust that gun. Bop, 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 bop. That's what they choosing their friends based off of. But that's not your man. That's not the guy that really cares about you. You understand? And so this is what these guys, like we understood. We had guys that grew up with us, and some was built for that, and some wasn't built for that. But that was still our man, because that was really our friend. Didn't matter that he ain't in the car with us, and if we going through and slide through somewhere, that ain't his lane. That ain't what he do. And he might not been in the street with us selling no cocaine. He would go work at the post office. But that's our real friend. And this is where these guys get it confused and get it messed up at. Because they think that, you know what I mean, a dude go hard. Yeah, he go hard. But guess what? He unwilling to do that time. You know, he don't want to do that time. He don't want to sit in that jail cell year after year after year after year after year. After year after year after year after year. This is the point that they're not taking into account, that they're not thinking about. You know what I mean? These young guys that's already in it, they gotta understand that you can't be playing around. That if you know realistically, man, I can't do no 20 years in jail or 25 years, you don't need to be running around shooting people. I ain't saying that, you know what I mean, guys shouldn't protect themselves.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you going around shooting people and talking about you can't do no 25 years in jail. We understood that as like 16, 17, 18 years. We understood that.
Right.
And we can end up, man, getting a life sentence. Right, but we understand. They not understanding this. They just run around shooting people, and then they once they get caught, they thinking about it then.
Right.
They're not understanding that from the beginning. Right. That I could be 19 and I can come back home and be 46.
Damn.
They not thinking like that. In their mind, that's not gonna happen to me. And all the guys it happened to, once again, thought that it wasn't gonna happen to them.
They alleged that you had millions of dollars. How do you transition from that to being in prison and having a spending limit and having minute limits on the phone?
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this, and this is some advice everybody can use. And I had a conversation with a good man I'm in here with right now, right? You know how they say, you don't cry over spilled milk?
Yeah.
That's a true saying, and I say that because when they say the milk is on the floor, we're not gonna keep arguing about who knocked it over. We're gonna get a rag, a sponge, or a mop. We're gonna get it up. Meaning, and this just don't go from my perspective, whatever anybody's going through. I see people, they dwell too much on the problem. You got a problem. Dude say, man, I'm twisted, I'm fucked up. Okay, that's the problem. You identify the problem. And once you identify the problem, now it's about the solution. What you gonna do about it? Everything is solution. With me, it's solution, 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 solution. Me sitting there, calling home, being stressed out, depressed, man, them people gave me 30 years, y'all don't know what I'm going through. I already got the 30.